I love me a vintage diver, and this latest Calipso GMT improves a lot over the original. But what's really remarkable is that they got away with some of the stuff that we absolutely hate. You know what I'm tired about? Pirate stereotypes. You know, the raggy hat, the misaligned teeth, and of course, the ever so present eye patch. I'm just tired of being misrepresented as the hobo of the high seas. Another thing that I'm tired about is the stereotype of Italians being good at design. Stop being good at design, Italians. Stop it, okay? But this Calypso from Viqueria is just reinforcing that stereotype. And what's more, they're actually getting away with certain things that we don't give a pass on other brands. Let me explain. The Calypso from Viqueria has now officially come onto its own with its latest version that's now equipped with the GMT complication. The proportions are identical to the previous collection, and it's easy to see that the same case could have been used for this latest iteration. The case has remained virtually unchanged, and something that bigger wrists will certainly welcome. Because this 42mm diver really wears itself big and could easily leverage its impression as a selling point. There are smaller details that makes it a lot more interesting. The specs on this diver is as expected a real asset, especially at this price point. Speaking of assets, the bezel clicks are a joy to hear on this one, although it's slightly softer than the previous version. This is also a unidirectional clicker, my favorite option opposed to the friction fit variety. Operating this NH34 GMT caliber is quite a breeze and even familiar. You may notice though that there is no date window and there is in fact a ghost date in there. But since you don't have a click to remind you of such, it's actually very negligible. On this demonstration, the clockwise turn will move the GMT hand, but a counterclockwise turn will yield no response. This was where the date wheel should have turned. So now it feels like your typical date operation, but instead a GMT hand is being set. I find this rather clever and gives an unexpected versatility to any brand who's using these GMT calibers. One versatility I'm still missing is the quick release spring bars. Now I need to use this tool to pop out the bracelet. Yes, I'm spoiled, but maybe it's a cost saver on the brand's part. I'll give them that. Another possible cost saver is the friction fit pins used on these links. I know many of you have dealt with this for years and you likely grew a relationship with your watchmaker with these. But in an age where the most affordable micros use screw pins, I'll have to bring out this pin remover to change sizes. Happily, I likely need to do this only once for this watch. The Calypso is a head turner in more ways than one, but let's turn the actual tables to see how it racks up against another familiar diver. The Seiko 5 GMT now has a worthy adversary with the Calypso GMT. It's got that bright dial and that mighty specs that I swear I heard the Seiko 5 square Manu. Even though these carry the same heart inside, the Calypso is built to have a brutish and hulking profile. This nearly straight bracelet taper just exudes a masculinity to it. My wrist could barely contain this piece of metal, even though the short links have such a comfortable articulation. The Seiko 5, on the other hand, is a bit more wearable with its shorter lug distance and that more pronounced taper. On my wrist, this fits just enough to repel all of the wrist Nazis out there that's just asking to be banned from Horology. But these two have one more thing remarkable to share between each other: the bracelet. The Seiko 5's Jubilee bracelet fits this Calypso perfectly that it makes for a more comfortable fit. It also adds a bit more luster with its smaller polished center links. Both also share the previously mentioned mediocre clasp that I have more faith in Viqueria to change than Seiko. I have to admit though, this setup brings a certain class to this micro. Let's see how versatile the Calypso is on other straps. Beginning with this very well-loved Horween strap, the vintageness is strong with this one, as the brown leather and light stitch displays this appeal. There's a noticeable clash between the bright yellow bezel and dial against this standout strap, but I'm sure as the watch ages, it will have that faded warmth to match the band. Next is the channel favorite Artem sailcloth strap. With 22 millimeters of surface area, there's more room to show off that beautiful texture. I have this deployment buckle setup that will hide the leftover material under my wrist. This gives this watch an elegant look, and you gotta love that yellow dial with this strap. Switch it up with Artem's green variant, and you have a more natural and earthy impression. It somewhat shifts the watch personality towards the field than over the ocean with this combo. Finally, let's experiment a bit and use Venezianico's integrated strap on this diver. As expected, the lug distance is extended a bit with the band bending over my smaller wrist. I'd imagine this is not an issue on bigger wrists, providing a sportier and more rugged identity to the Calipso. By closing off the lugs, the whole look is completely changed. I think all four straps work very nicely as an alternative to this Viqueria. Now let's flip the scene again and let's examine the Calipso GMT more closely. I'm seriously convinced now that all designers are secretly born in Italy and then delivered by storks to moms all around the world. Or that maybe I'm an Italian watch pirate that loves the vintage design mentality of Italians. And I'm not the only one. Ray says he likes it as well. Answering Watch 6 though, yes, I will take this treasure hunting in Instagram and eBay. And fellow 6035 says that it's a GMT with full diving capabilities. It's always good to be able to know the time wherever your best friend may be while diving at the depths defying the odds of being alive. And actually, he also sees that it's a very cool design and loves the yellow dial. That yellow dial and bezel just captivated me at first glance. That's why I picked this model to review. The milky sheen of this aluminum bezel is pure nostalgia bait for anyone vintage inclined. Viqueria is fully aware that the patina this watch will develop will be amazing. The bracelet works well with these articulate links and its wide footprint. All of it is designed to be robust, to withstand abuse, and wear its scars proudly. My previous criticism stands though, as this is the same class that they used the last time. I feel this could be improved with a different design. There is one more improvement though, as the case back is now a bit more desirable to look at with all of the cities in the world etched on it. It's a simple but effective touch. Let's now focus on the feature of the watch, the dial and bezel. This is where we will see how Viqueria is truly improving on their design language and also giving us a lot more Italian flavor to it. Nothing screams Italian to me than Modena yellow. Yes, I know the brand calls this saffron yellow, but come on, you can't help but think Ferrari and Lambo yellow with this hue. This lovely texture on the dial is also a great contrast against the sharp and stark indexes. These triangular shapes just gives it a fierce personality. These frame indexes just comes alive as light hits it and that gorgeous aluminum bezel joins in on the fun. This effect is also present on the yellow part of the bezel, however this really obscures the numbers to the point of invisibility. If there was one thing that I wanted to change on this bezel, it would be this. I would have preferred that the numerals on the lower half of the bezel be marked in black. This would still preserve the warm yellow appeal, but the numerals will be a lot more legible. I told this to the brand and they're very likely going to change this on the production models. The rest of the bezel with its black and yellow colors just seals the deal for me. And the finishing touch is a fantastic lume. It actually has two tints of it with generous applications on both. This brand from Italy continues to deliver some of the best timepieces under $300. Yes, you heard me right, a super capable 300-meter diver with a GMT complication for less than 3 Italian dinners. Every time you look at it, it will remind you of that sunny Mediterranean spirit sprinkled with a little of Italian ingenuity. Because they got away with skipping the date wheel that we would bash other brands for doing the same. But you'll never notice it at all with this kind of execution done here on the Calipso. It's a vibrant diver that's welcome on the eyes and easy to pick up. If Italian fashion ever had a color, it would be this saffron yellow by the Calipso GMT. That is the Calipso GMT from Viqueria, another smash hit from this Italian brand, and this is a continuation, an upgrade to their previous diver. with that GMT complication while enjoying all of the specs that we love from the previous Calypso. And not only that, yes, we know that it's not perfect. It has all of the old school kinks like the spring bar that you need the tool for, and friction pin for the links, and of course that aluminum bezel that may need some tweaking there. But you cannot deny that this is a great value for what you're getting. So again, that's the Calypso GMT from Viqueria. Comment down below, let me know what you think about it, and if you're really good at commenting and just insulting my watch pirate persona, it might even make it into the weekend show that we're going to have. Okay, we're going to try and have that weekend show, so comment now, and those interesting comments will make it into that show. Even though probably nobody's paying attention to that hobo of the high seas.